hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
What's that? Are you going? It's a folk thing. We're doing folk singing, are we?
No, that's Peter Buckley Hills actually. Can't do that.
Is it?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you move your arm over there? You're in my way.
Wait,
I'm an artist and I need space.
Right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pear Shaped in Dystopia, London's second worst online comedy club in the whole fucking universe. And it's sort of we've actually got off to quite a good start tonight. It's been a terrible day because all the gear went wrong again. But it looks like it's actually going to be quite nice now. After all, there's a surprise. Wasn't expecting that.
Have you got any new jokes?
Have I got any new joke? I probably have. Hang on a minute. I'll just casually lean over here. And I could never eat anything with a face, but I'll happily drink anything with a head on it. That's good, isn't it?
Oh, that's all right,
Yeah, that's nice. That joke's been hanging around for a few years. Fuck me, look at the time. Time for another joke. That's funny, isn't it?
That's not a joke. That was
All right.
that's more like John Sharp, a statement.
No, I think we should just do a poem. You probably won't believe this. Yeah, poem, yeah. Poem, yeah. You probably won't believe this, but it's absolutely true. I'm a bloody poet. Ooby dooby doo. Anyone can do it if you've got the time to spare. All you need is a pen and a pad and a little bit up there. That's it, yeah.
And then you just, what you do?
You find yourself a dictionary with loads of words in there. You tear the pages out, cut them up and stick them in a hat, and then you pull them out and you
try and make them rhyme.
You try and make them rhyme, and if you're not very good at it, it'll be all over the fucking place, and it
like
won't
a mad
scan.
woman shit. That's the Aussie saying.
Huh?
Yeah, it's an Aussie saying.
All
over the place like a mad woman.
Like a mad woman shit.
It's very un-PC.
That's not very
in
nice,
these times of
it's not very
mental
nice,
health awareness, but that's an old expression now.
But it's a picture, isn't it? If a picture paints 1,000 words, then that
does it, yeah.
bit will do.
Yeah.
I can't think of any more jokes.
Righto.
I haven't got any jokes. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I was going to do a brand new routine all about wanking, but apparently it's all been done before. So I'm not going to...
Yeah, especially by you.
Yeah, I suppose I've done it before, haven't I? I don't want to keep repeating myself, do I? And my agent, Shii Entertainers International, he won't be very fucking happy. So. And by the way, can you watch the language? It's been very crude the last few weeks, and we're trying to tone it down a bit, you know. So yeah, I've been up all night working on my ad libs, and you know, I can't remember any of them. So I think we could just do a song.
Yeah.
I normally, I suppose we're supposed to tell people what this is like and what it's about. Well, it starts with us.
In Dystopia, isn't it?
Yeah, it starts with us, and we put acts on, and then it finishes.
And you can donate.
You can there we go, talking about money again.
Always talking about money. There,
yeah.
It's a QR code to donate.
Yeah.
Because it costs us a bit to... I know it doesn't look like it costs us anything, but we have to pay for StreamYard, and we try and pay the acts if anybody gives us any money. And pay for food and electricity.
We don't give them all the money, just
Brian's heroin habit and, you know, all that stuff. So it costs quite a lot to put this on.
But it's a big production, you know, and a lot of effort. And I like the idea. I used to do a job once where I used to work 8 or 9 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week, for just enough to barely stay alive. Well, doing this podcast has brought all that back to me. I had no idea how well off I was at the time, you know, because we don't get quite so much money now as I used to do.
No. You still have your dream. You still have that dream where
surgeon.
He hasn't worked there since 1983.
1983.
1983.
Yeah, 1983.
And he still has a dream.
Yeah.
And
My recurring dream is that I turn up. It was a department store in the Haymarket uptown, and I turn up after being missing for 40 years. I turn up back onto the shop floor, and Mr. Saville. If anybody ever worked for Burberry's, you'll know who Mr. Saville is or was. Mr. Saville, after 40 years, says, "That was a rather long tea break, Mr. Egan." And I said, "Well, you know, I had a fag. It took a while. Anyway."
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Right, are we going to do a song or wait
I
for
don't
later?
think so. I think we should wait until later. The last thing you need is another song after that beautiful bit of art.
The peak of that anecdote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we don't improvise, you know, it's just sort of awkwardness. It's we don't do banter either. "Hello, mate, what do you do for a living?"
No.
Oh, that's a shit job,
That's
isn't it?
because the audience can't talk back on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Which is probably a bonus, really.
And if we do that here, "Hello, mate, what do you do for a living?" "I'm a comedian." "Oh, fuck me, another one." So it's not going to work, is it? Anything we used to do in real life, it's not going to work. I can't tell you about the gig we did last night. We did a gig a while ago. I'll tell you, there was a bloke there, and after every joke, he's going, "Way! Woo, 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 woo!" He's fucking jumping up and down and stamping his feet. And I said, "You're really enjoying this, aren't you?" He said, "No, I'm just fucking cold." Thanks, Al. Thanks, I appreciate that. That was a joke. Right.
Was it?
So,
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
I know. Well, you wouldn't recognise a joke if it kicked you in the head, would you?
No.
So, are we going to...
Yeah, so are we introducing this?
We're going to
introduce...
introduce...
You just want me to click on it?
This now is a man who's been starting Pear Shaped for years and years and years and years, and he's still here. So it's Robert White. Give me a round.
I got loo rolls, I got tin foil, I got a bread roll, who could ask for anything more? I got a pillowcase, I got a brass rubbing trace, I got the face of the face, who can ask for anything more? I got tights, I got socks, shades from lights, a cardboard box, Halloween frights, kitchen clocks, a fancy bag, an old dishcloth, a printout I did, a scarf my mum knit, how Donald Trump does it, who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more?
That was all right, wasn't it? I like that. Did you like that, Al?
Yeah, it was very good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Clever, ain't he? Clever.
Yeah.
All those years of training at Pear Shaped have paid off. So it's, I think talking about this is another person who used to be at Pear Shaped quite regularly, and believe it or not, he's alive. His name, ladies and gentlemen, is Al. You've got to time it a bit.
Yeah, it's
better. You know, you
timing,
do
I know,
that
yeah,
after I
yeah,
say the
yeah,
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Technique. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present the brilliant Sean Patrick. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, Maestro. It's 35 years ago. The words still haunt me. Excuse me, madam. You appear to have a ladder in your tights. My mother, the B&Q shoplifter. Thank you. Just a trigger warning for anyone affected. Some of these jokes may make reference to peanuts or strobe lighting. It's been a difficult few days for me. I was kept awake all last night by the sound of two foxes having sex. And I said to them, tonight you're in the spare room. And then this afternoon, I had to go for a prostate examination. Didn't really need one, but there's nothing on TV. And I've also been spending a lot of time recently in virtual lap dancing clubs. No doubt some of the ladies in the audience, you're thinking, men who spend a lot of time in lap dancing clubs are a bit seedy and pathetic. But I enjoy the work and the money's good. Now, this may surprise some of you to look at me, but when I was a younger man, in order to find willing sexual partners, I would go to extraordinary lengths, which was a gay bar in Compton Street. But I personally am not a homosexual. If you are, it's fine. But I believe that the Bible talks about Adam and Eve and not two virile young men stripped down to their underwear, wrestling, bodies sliding together like oiled pistons as they wrestle for supremacy on the damp tiled floor of a changing room with an unspoken truth in their eyes called Steve. But I'm not, I think we've established I'm not a homosexual myself. In fact, when I was a younger man, I once converted a lesbian. So, she's now a lesbian. Sorry, I'm just checking my timer there because I get bored very easily. I suppose at this stage I should tell some more jokes. So strap in. What's the difference between catching your neighbours having sex and catching your neighbours having a threesome? My ex-wife, as I now call her, my new neighbour. I actually told my mother my ex is dead. It seemed to make things simpler somehow. But also I thought, if ever we get back together, what a lovely surprise for both of them. But to be fair to my ex, she was very supportive. She was there for me during my sunbed addiction, some of my darkest hours. But she was a very critical woman. She said to me once, Sean, you're a very arrogant man, and you have a penchant for using foreign words that you don't understand. And I said to her, that's ridiculous. I've never even worn a penchant. But I'm currently single, and I do struggle with women if they're the type to enjoy that sort of thing. But it's been some time since I've had intimate carnal knowledge of a lady. I mean, even when my wife and I were still together, we'd reach that stage in the relationship where you wake up next to someone, don't you? You turn over and you look at them and you start dressing them with your eyes. But I'm not too worried, because I like to think sexual intercourse is a little bit like riding a bicycle, in that I think it's more fun in the park. And I like to ring a little bell to let people know I'm coming. My name's Sean Patrick. Thank you for having me. Good night.
Hey! That is the one and only Sean Patrick. Sean Patrick. La 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 la.
Isn't it? Al is Al gonna give us a tune? Al's gonna give us a tune.
Yeah, you could do. Al,
Yeah.
can you play that mandolin?
Shall we rock the house?
No, I mean, can you play the mandolin?
A tune, right.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, rock the
Do a
house.
tune, yeah?
How
Yeah.
can you rock the house with a mandolin? Rock the house! Where's this fucking tune?
There's no way the internet's going to work this tune out, is it?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, our Mandolino, the beautiful golden mandolin of our Mandolino.
Greetings, Pear Shaped. I can't be with you tonight because I have got a life and I have other things to do. And Brian did tell me Pear Shaped was starting again, but then I didn't think it would ever happen. So here, I'm not here. Yeah, people often complain in this room that they can't see anything. There's nothing behind you. Well, but there we go. Yeah, something fell over. No, the thing is, what you don't realise is there's 127 cats who all have to be evicted from this room before we can start, usually, because I gave up on promoting people. The problem with promoting people is you have to pay them eventually. You know, they follow orders, but you have to pay them eventually. Everyone, even Spiky Mike, even us at the bottom, you have to pay the acts. With cats, you don't have to pay them. But cats used to think they had it sorted, you know. It was like, well, all I have to do is go meow and purr and whatever, you know, and bring a dead bird home and I'll get paid. Meow, yeah, I'll get paid in food. And not anymore. You have to work for it on Instagram. I've got 127 cats and you're just one and you all have to work. And you have to push things off shelves endlessly from 127 angles so that we can all make money on Instagram, me and Ava, because we can't rely on humans anymore. Humans are unreliable. Anyway, yeah, so there are things in here. There's the Sistine Chapel ceiling and the Viz clock plate of Tutankhamun. So, yeah, I gave up promoting people. The business model of Pear Shaped used to be we'd just bung Brian's number in timeout and all the mad people would ring him up. But that doesn't work anymore because they're all on the internet. So here's Michael Caine. Michael Caine on Twitter. Michael Caine posts in two situations. Situation number one, Michael has something to plug. Situation number two, Michael's friends have died. Obviously, recently, situation number two has happened more often. So these things got merged together, a bit like Pear Shaped, where, you know, we plug our gigs and then people die. So Michael's branched out into giving advice. He says, take your vaccine, be safe. And 3,900 idiots have replied to him. So here's one. He says, anyone who takes coronavirus vaccine really needs to do some research on the checkered past of coronavirus vaccines, etc. ADE, pathogenic priming cycle. I've replied, well, my octogenarian parents had 2 doses and they're still with us. And Dr. Angeleva said, no, they got placebo. And I said, well, actually, it's a vaccine rollout that's real. They haven't got placebo. And she said, it's placebo. He said, it's placebo. And I said, well, not here, because they might be in America, you know, but the UK government passed it for use in December. And they were the first, because they're 81. No, it's placebo. Clinical trials are done under strict rules. I said, well, not here, Boris. So, no, it's placebo. So I've got the picture of all the people who've had the vaccine to show it's a real roll-up. No, it's placebo, trying to be clever. Lab rats. Anyway, that's why I can't get acts of Pear Shaped anymore. And here's the next act.
Hi, I'm Clarissa Kuru. I know what you're thinking. Clarissa Kuru. That's a made-up name. Well, it isn't. It's my name, and I'm not made up. So how can it be? I know what else you're thinking. Is she available? Well, I am. I know it's hard to believe, and you might also be thinking that I shouldn't just blurt out that I'm available, but I'm not scared to say that. See, you don't know where I am, but with the programmes that I have running, I know where you are, all right. Ben in Colchester. 079. I'll be triangulating you, Ben. Very soon. I've been on dating sites. Sure, I've been on dating sites, but I'm very picky. Thing is, I'm less looking for a date, more looking for conspecies prey. See, I self-identify as a cannibal. Some people criticise me, saying that I shouldn't eat human flesh and start pointing the finger of incurable, fatal, neurodegenerative, transmissible, spongiform encephalopathy, easy for you to say, disorders, apparently common among the 4A people of Papua New Guinea, that cannibalism is supposed to cause. Well, I'm sick of experts. Incurable, in for a good time, more like. And anyway, like you read all the labels on your food. Cannibalism is part of our culture too. What about Sweeney Todd, the alleged demon barber of Fleet Street, and his arrangement with the lady from the pie shop? They wrote a musical about that FFS. And anyone here from Tollsbury, Essex? Look it up. Tollsbury, cabin boy, extensive and groundbreaking legal case. Come on, we've all done it. A little bit of cannibalism, eaten snot, bogies, the odd toenail or a scab. And what about those people tucking into each other after a plane crash on a frozen mountainside? We've all eaten rough after a night out. My people are all dead anyway, eventually. Say you have to be cruel to be kind, but why not just be cruel? Kindness saps so much energy. All I'm asking for, apart from another chest freezer in the garage, is a balanced debate here. Don't judge me, I'm entitled to my views. Biting through a finger, it's the same as biting through a carrot, but your brain won't let you. Easy as 1, 2, 3. And just because I'm a cannibal doesn't mean I'm not a fussy eater. I won't eat eyes or tongues or beetroot. Jonathan Swift, Gulliver's Travels, all about little people and shit. And I'm not being PC, they were little people. I love me a borrower too. They're like white bait to people, someone like me. Back to Jonathan. He wrote about cannibalism, a solution to the famine in Ireland, eating children. He had recipes, portion sizes, everything. He was posh and a writer and historical and that, and he wore one of those fancy wigs. So I suppose it's okay to eat children, just don't have sex with them. Anyway, I'm just a normal girl with my hopes and dreams. All I want, apart from a food processor that does meat chopping, is to live in a world without greed, where talent is valued over money, children are properly educated, and the sick and elderly treated free at the point of source. So I'm lovely, really. I've been Clarissa Kuru, shall be for some time. Thanks for hearing me.
Hello. Can't wait to book a holiday. I mean, we can do it, can't we? After the 21st of June, we can go anywhere. So I am going back to Barbados. It was completely ruined last time, my trip to Barbados. Got settled down, sitting in a nice aisle seat. This old fella walks past. And then he walks past again. And then he walks past again. And he keeps it going for 8 hours. It's fucking Captain Tom Moore. He cannot give it up, even when he's going on holiday. So, when I got back, unfortunately, I heard he died. So the first thing I did was book another holiday. But I also thought it would be wonderful if he could be remembered for what he loved doing. So I went round to his house and I sellotaped his ashes to his lawnmower. Please welcome the unique comedy stylings of Mr. Michael Ayers.
Oh, hello. Here we are again. Thanks for the invite back, Brian. I hope everything's right with my volume. Brian assures me he's found a way of turning me down or, in fact, even off. So if I suddenly become silent, you'll know what's happened. Right, on with the show. A bit of visual stuff to start with, I think. Look what I found in my studio. In fact, just to I'm just going to sort of try something. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I didn't notice any difference. This whole business of thinking outside the box. One of those sayings we're all familiar with, but what does it really mean? Does the brain, for example, know that it's in or outside of a box, and does it really matter? I've never seen any pictures of Einstein or Stephen Hawking, Beethoven, thinking outside of a box. Most of the thinking, I think you'll find, is done in inside box-like structures. It got me onto thinking that English language at best is quite devious. For example, thinking outside the box suggests that the box is a fairly peace-loving object, but then we're confronted with something like a box on the ears. What does it even mean, a box on the ears? or let's box on. So at the moment in the times we're living in, we're told to just box on. I'm as lost as you are. So the English language, you've got to be very careful with it, because a lot of us tend to live our lives by these sort of little epigrams or sayings or proverbs, which we feel are pointing us in the right direction. So, for example, just looking out the window here, I'm reminded of the saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I'm not up to speed with your ornithological experiences, but for me, the odd time it's happened, having a bird in the hand is either dead or so overcome by where it is that it suffers a heart attack, or viciously pecks your skin until it flies away, whereas at the same time the two birds over in the bush are quite relaxed watching all this and having a ball. So mathematically, even, one bird in the hand in no way has any economic value compared to two healthy birds in the bush. What about, here's another one. Slow and steady wins the race. Not in my experience. Slow and steady means you'll be going slow, you'll be steady, but you won't win. It's a bit like those people of another generation who may be sitting with you in your car and some young hoon goes speeding past at 30 miles per hour over the limit, and they say, "He won't get there any sooner, you know." And you think, gosh, that's wise. Until you realise actually he will get there sooner. He'll get there a lot sooner because he's speeding. Having your cake and eating it too. I've never ever had any problem with having a cake and being able to eat it. Otherwise, there's no point in having a cake. No point. All sorts of strange things litter our language. The elephant in the room, which I've always thought is very unfair on elephants. If there is an elephant in the room, he or she is probably just sitting down the back, minding their own business, having a drink, possibly got the mobile phone out and surfing on Safari, something like that. So beware of the English language. I'm going to persevere with what I can do with this box, but I can assure you that thinking outside the box is not something I'm ever going to try in the future. Look after yourself, folks. I tell you what, 5 minutes of even mediocre comedy is a fucking hard thing to do. So good luck, look after yourselves. I've been Michael Ayres. Good night.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Michael Ayres, rocking the house there. That's very, very similar to Michael McIntyre's style. That's
very upbeat. Fast.
Very upbeat. Yeah. Somebody did say to me a while ago, they said, what is an alternative comedian? And I said, well, that's somebody who spends 25 years learning how to be funny, and then when you book them to headline for you, they come along and fuck around for 30 minutes looking for an alternative. That was... Anyway. So you've got a song, haven't you? You've got a song that you want to sing.
Yes.
You've got a song. She's got a song she wants to sing.
Hi, Sean.
Catherine, hello.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
Just
right.
press something.
That was slick. That was slick.
Right, are we ready? I'm an avocado aficionado. I really know a lot about these pears. I can tell you when it's ripe or the pit is not cut right. I can even tell the type if anyone cares. Pinkertons are smooth and soft and creamy, green with a lighter shade of pale. Hass is dark like an alligator until it's a Hass by the scales. I love an avocado in me toasties. The texture is most spectacular. Then there's guacamole, if you like to parley in the true and right vernacular. I'm an avocado.
She's an avocado.
Aficionado. I really know a lot about these pears.
Yes, she does.
I can tell you when it's ripe or the pit's not cut right. I can even tell the type if anyone cares.
Yes, she can.
I'm an avocado.
She's an avocado.
Aficionado. Some people say that I'm a bore, but if you're down the shop and get caught on the hop, you might just want to give me a call.
Give me a call.
You can halve it, you can slice it, you can smash it. It really just depends on what you like. It's always ripe and ready. People think it's trendy. It's handy to take upon a hike. I'm an avocado aficionado. I really know a lot about these pears. They'll you if it's ripe or the pit is not cut right. I can even tell the type if anyone cares. I'm an avocado aficionado. Some folk say that I'm a bore, but if you're around the shop and get caught on the hop, you might just want to give me a call. Yes, if you're down the shop and get caught on the hop, you might just want to give me a call. Avocado aficionado here, how can I help you?
Hello, have you got any avocados?
No,
Oh,
because that Megan took them all to America.
oh. That's why they say
There's none left here.
she's not going to get on very well with Harry. Harry, he doesn't like her.
Harry doesn't like
No,
her.
he doesn't like her. He
No.
doesn't like her.
Well, he doesn't like her. Oh, does he
No.
like avocados though?
He loves avocados.
Oh, he loves avocados. He
But
doesn't like
he
her.
doesn't like her.
He's just pretending with all.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes of Pat and Math.
Hi, Sean.
Catherine, hello. And welcome, everybody, to 2 Mins of Pat and Math. Now, today's question has actually been sent in by a fan. Her name, she lives somewhere in the north, and her hobbies are fine wines and ballroom dancing. And her question is, why do dogs bark and cats meow?
It's a solid question.
It is, isn't it?
I think that it's language, you know? So, like, dogs speak bark because they got the hormones, didn't they? In the and cats speak meow because they got the endorphins, didn't they?
The stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just think that's what it is.
Simple as that.
How about you? Yeah.
What I'd like to throw back at you then is, does that mean that, for example, if it's just languages, a cat could learn to bark? If, for example, it was a spy cat.
I don't think a cat would want to learn to bark.
What if the cat king told it had to?
I think it'd probably just go.
Okay, so let's open it up a bit more. What about an animal, say, halfway between a cat and a dog, like
Lion.
a horse?
Yeah, cool.
Could that horse learn those other languages? Quite a small horse, let's say a Shetland pony or...
Well, but a horse doesn't look anything like a dog or a cat.
Well, no, not to you.
Not to anyone.
It might to a cat.
I don't think it would.
Well, what's your evidence for that?
Well, like, is this a picture of me or a tiger?
So, which picture? That was just that's a tiger.
No, it's me.
Where are you? Photo of a tiger in a red t-shirt. Frank dressing.
I suppose you win.
As always, Kath.
Did me into 2 minutes of Pat and Math. And now it's time. We want to know what's happening on the other side of the Atlantic, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're going over to Cole Parker, our man in La La Land. Hey!
Hello, Brian. I'm talking to you in an affected way because I am now a foreign correspondent. Yes.
Yes.
I can't do that. I can't do it for the whole show, obviously. That'd be ridiculous. Things are getting a little bit weird over here this week, though, Brian. I'm going to say, in the whole of the land of the free, the home of the brave. This holiday weekend, why not get yourself down to Crazy Don's Pardon Jubilee? It's a criminal bonanza with fun and pardons for all the family. Making false statements, pardon. Premeditated murder, pardon. Mail fraud, pardon. Racketeering, pardon. Premeditated murder, pardon. Unpremeditated murder, pardon. Perjury, pardon. It's a pardon jubilee. Our operators are waiting to speak to you. Just call this number, give us your credit card details, your house deeds, and tell us what crimes you'd like to be pardoned for. And Crazy Don will pop your pardon in the mail. No fuss, no quibbles, no jail time. Don't forget, this is the closing down sale.
Wow.
All pardons must be issued by midday Wednesday the 20th of January 2021.
I hereby grant you a full pardon. Pardon. I feel so good about myself.
All pardons are valid for federal crimes only. All customers must be American Caucasians with no friends of color. Not available to residents of the states of California, Georgia, Pennsylvania, or Nevada.
Hello, Brian and Krysstal. This is Cole Parker live. Look at that real palm tree behind me. Live in California for Pear Shaped, of all people. It's fantastic though. I wanted to come outside. I wanted to show you guys the palm tree in case you thought I was faking it. Yes, I did. Haha, I'm not faking it. I'm not at Orpington. This is the real thing. So what's been happening this week over here in the land of the free and the home of the brave? Well, a bit less freedom actually. What's happening now is in the Republican-led states, the United States of America, they're actually targeting ethnic minority groups because that's the group that gave Biden the victory to beat the orange sex pest. And so they're trying to stop ethnic people, non-white people from voting. So they're taking away polling stations and drop boxes and limiting who can vote and when they can vote and how long can do it for, because they are not happy, are they, that the brown people pushed the white racist out of the White House, that he was running very badly. They didn't like that at all, did they? And the sex pest himself, he made a re-emergence just the other week at the CPAC conference, which is like the sort of Tory party conference, but for fascist Republicans. And he did his old material from years ago, all his old shit when he attacked people. And it was all boring, pulling out all these lies. And it was just, oh, you've done that before, mate. You've done that before. Called the Mexicans terrorists again, which is hilarious because that's the same week that the FBI have revealed that they are currently investigating more than 2,000 domestic cases of terrorism in the United States. 2,000, okay? Committed by white nationalists in this country. But it's the Mexicans, apparently. Mexican terrorist. Please. Mexican suicide bomber. I mean, their community eats so much meat and beans and cheese. If one of them was to explode, like properly go up, you know, it'd be a hell of a mess, but it would probably smell amazing. And the racism has got so bad in this country that I can now do jokes like that. So something needs to change, and something is changing, because Joe Biden, Saviour Joe, Jesus Joe, is about to pass a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. How much of that am I going to receive personally? How much am I going to get? Well, I'm going to get $3,000, $2,800 as a down payment. Oh, so excited I pulled out my plugs. I'm going to get $2,800 as a down payment, and then I'm going to get $1,200 every week going forward for 5 months. Last year they gave us $1,200, and then they gave us another $6,500 a month for about 5 months, and then over Christmas they gave us like $1,200, and I don't know, about $800 a week. They've been stepping up. They've been improving it. It's all right. I'm guessing in the UK it's the same thing with Brexit. Now, they're not giving all that money to Europe. I bet they probably shared all that out equally, have they? In the UK, I bet you've all got the equal amounts there, haven't you? Yeah, it hasn't all gone to Rees-Mogg, has it, and his mate Snow. But you all got a nice slice of the pie there, didn't you? Good. So we're all happy. With the money, we're supposed to stimulate the economy. We're supposed to spend the money. I'm going to be spending the money on marijuana because it's legal in the United States, and that will stimulate me, it will stimulate the economy, and it will help lockdown go just that little bit easier. Until next week, this is Cole Parker for Pear Shaped in Dystopia, live in LA.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cole Parker, our man in La La Land. La 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 la. That's the theme tune. La 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 la. LA, 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 la 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 la. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Catherine Mather. Catherine Mather.
Hey! You're right. I hope that you're all having a wonderful pandemic so far. I mean, who'd have thought losing everything could feel so good? Am I right? I know some people might say that I arrived late to this gig. I would say I'm like a Gandalf, you know, I arrive exactly when I'm needed, as the countdown to the beginning of the show is happening. And I don't know, I only ever watched that film so I could shag boys. Never seen it fully, but I assume is that what Gandalf does? Shags guys, turns up late all the time. What a lad, love him, I'm like him. I love a Zoom gig though. I think they're fucking great. You know, people say it's not the real thing, and it isn't. But at a Zoom gig, the bar has always got my favourite drinks. There's never a queue for the toilet, and I don't even have to wear pants. So, frankly, let's keep every gig Zoom forever. Thank you. I don't know. It has been hard, hasn't it? Though this whole lockdown, like, I mean, emotionally, very difficult. The hardest part by far for me has got to have been trying to end a phone call. Just there going, yeah. Anyway, I have to get going. And they're like, no, you fucking don't. We all know you have got nowhere to be. You're right. I just don't want to talk to you anymore. It's like Groundhog Day. We've all lived the same day, and it's been a shit day. I'm not gonna lie. So I grew up in a place called Rochdale. Don't Google it. But I moved down to London. It was about 5 years ago now, because I got stuck in a bit of a rut back home. You know, I was in a failing relationship. I was doing this job that I fucking hated. I was a children's entertainer, but I was wildly unqualified for that because I hate kids, and I'm not very entertaining. So one day I just thought, I'm going to move to London and I'm going to sort my life out. And, you know, I've not. I haven't. You saw a picture of me as a kids entertainer. It was horrible. I was dying inside, just a lot in that photograph. But I ended up. I lost like 3 jobs this time last year. It was appalling. So I ended up stuck in a room on my own for like 3 months, and then I took Rishi's advice. You know. I retrained. I went out there. I got a job with the NHS. I started the week after we all stopped clapping for them. I was fucking fuming. Now I'm just stuck doing admin. Who wants that? But I've been doing this admin job for like 2 weeks, right? So I should say my mum, she's a care worker. She's had not the best year. It's been quite hard. She immediately got COVID. She has spent this entire time with like barely any PPE, wiping feces off COVID-ridden geriatrics. It's been an appalling year for her. I'd been in my NHS admin job for 2 weeks. They sent me an enamel pin badge with a rainbow on it with the words NHS Hero. I called my mum up and I was like, look, mummy, I'm a hero. And you know, that's the first time my mum ever told me to fuck off in anger. It was a beautiful moment, truly. But I thought, you know, like lockdown, there's not been many opportunities to do anything, has there? And I thought, well, I'm going to be here on my own. I'm going to try and have new experiences still. So, you know, my mum told me to fuck off. That was one. I tried a moon cup for the first time. They're very good for the environment. If you don't know what they are, it's a little silicone menstrual cup. And you squeeze it and you pop it up inside yourself and it expands to form a vacuum to catch your lady river in it. And when you come to take it out, and that is very important, you must remember to take it out. But when you come to take it out, what I didn't realise was that you've got to squeeze it again to break the vacuum. So I was just pulling on this motherfucker. Oh my God, you have never felt pain like it. Jesus Christ. Honestly, I thought I was going to end up pulling my intestines out like handkerchiefs from a wizard's fist. So I learned from my mistakes. I told my friend about that and she was like, oh my God, yeah, I had one as well and it was great. The only problem is to clean it, what you have to do is boil it in a pan of hot water. And I live in a share house. I fucking paid money to see that when you're like, oh, Melissa, what are you cooking? Oh my God, no, please. Anyway, so on that note, on that very highbrow note, I only do the highest brow comedy. I will pass you back. I've been Catherine Mather, the cooler half of 2 Minutes of Pat and Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Mather. Catherine Mather. Moon Cup River, wider than a mile. Anyway, no, we won't do that. No. Well, it ain't no joke for an old cow poke who's got no cows for poking. And Krysstal Palace is a lonesome town. Believe me, I ain't joking. Well, I walked into the laundromat with my 6 guns on and my 10-gun hat, and some guy there is looking at me, and I asked him what there was to see. He said, nothing, but you look a bit strange. You look like you just stepped off the range. I said, listen, mister, you just listen. I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. And you're in the right place if y'all look for a row, boy. I'm gonna come over there and squeeze your head, and if you still ain't dead, I'm gonna kick your ass straight out that door.
Kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. Now you might think he's looking for a fight. Yep. He makes a lot of noise. I know it ain't right. He gets in trouble, that's plain to see. But if you want to hit him, you gotta go through me. Yeah. Listen, mister. You just listen. He's my kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. Alright?
Well, I left that place and I got on my horse. He's only got 3 legs. The other one's lost. Could have had a wooden one. He said no chance, 'cause I'm a real cool horse and I love to dance. I won't tell a lie and I won't be false, but 3 legs just right for doing the waltz. So listen,
mister.
You just listen. I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. And you're in the right place if y'all looking for a row, boy. I'm gonna come over there and squeeze your head, pull off your ears, and if you still ain't dead, I'm gonna kick your big fat ass straight out that door. 'Cause I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy.
What are you, boy?
I'm a kung fu, karate chopping, jaw busting, back breaking cowboy. You see my champagne anyway?
No, darling, I don't know where it is.
Righto. Okay, don't worry. I think we should just put the headliner on now. The headliner.
Yes, where has he gone? Oh, there he is.
Is he there?
He's there.
He's there, is he? Ladies and gentlemen,
there he is.
The one and only rock and roll Spiky Mike. Thank you.
Yay! Hello, Wembley. Okay, hello, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the show. It's weird, isn't it, these Zoom gigs? I haven't done one for a little while. But I knew this whole COVID situation was getting quite serious about a year ago. The very last proper live gig I did. and I was in the toilets just before the show started, and I saw a couple of men in there washing their hands when they'd only had a piss. Not normal behaviour, and that was the shape of things to come. But we've got masks. We're all wearing masks everywhere we go. We've got to wear masks in the shops. Kind of annoying, but on the plus side, I have managed to raid 1 bank, 3 stations, and 7 off licences. That's seen me through financially throughout lockdown. Haircuts. Who's prepared to wait for the hair people to open up, the barbers, and who is prepared to have a family member cut their hair? I haven't cut my hair for about 4 months because I refuse to let my girlfriend loose on it. I normally ask audience members at this point, but I don't know if there are any. I can't hear you, so we'll have to just assume you've all got beautiful hair out there. And what else have we got to talk about? Oh, yes. Right at the start of lockdown, we had some nice weather, and I've got a 4-year-old daughter, and she said to me right at the beginning when it was a nice sunny day, can we have ice cream? And I said, yes, we can have ice cream today, but we can only have ice cream when it's a warm, sunny day. We then had 100 warm, sunny days in a row, and I put on 3 stone. Right, okay. It's weird. You never quite know whether to pause for where there might possibly be laughter, because you've got no idea if there is any. Do we pause, wait for the possible laughter, or do we just plough on, assuming there probably wasn't any? So anyway, I've waffled on for even longer than if there'd have been loads of laughter there. So what else do we have? Anyway, one thing I've particularly noticed throughout lockdown has been the unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. Right, that's the COVID stuff out of the way. Now, that's my year's work that we've done now. Just before lockdown, I did a gig in Liverpool, and don't know if there's any Scousers out there. Can't really see if we've got orange people in the audience at the moment. But many of you will be aware that the anthem of the Liverpool football team is, of course, the old 60s classic, You'll Never Walk Alone. That is because it's not safe to. So I'm not going to get booked for Liverpool ever again now. Another thing that happened just before the lockdown was I had to go on a speed awareness course. We got any fans of the speed awareness course out there? Now, I was on the course, and the person next to me, every time the instructor asked a question, he put his hand up and he knew the answer to absolutely everything. After about half an hour, I said to him, have you done one of these courses before? And he said, no, I'm a driving instructor. I live in Nottingham. I actually live on the edge of Nottingham's red light area, which is interesting. But the council recently put a speed camera up there because there's also a school in the area, and they put one of those 20-mile-an-hour speed restrictions, which makes it pretty tricky driving your car along there now. Because if you go above 20 miles an hour, you get a ticket. And if you go below 20 miles an hour, you get done for curb crawling. I ordered some photographs recently of my nothing dodgy, but some photographs of my daughter, and they arrived through my door the other day, and they'd been put in a hardback envelope to keep them safe. But the postman had bent them in half to put them through the door. I wasn't happy about that because I opened it out and there was a great big orange sticker, and it said, "Photographs do not bend," written underneath in biro, I suspect, by my postman, in the words, "Yes, they do." I was not happy. I do, like Brian, I do run a comedy club, a few comedy clubs. And a little while ago, I was in the office and I got a phone call from some people who booked tickets, and they wanted to defer the tickets to the following show. And they said it's because the lady said it's because our father-in-law's just died. And I said, I'm very sorry to hear that. And she said, oh, no, you don't have to be sorry. We didn't like him. We just didn't think it would look very good in front of the family to be going to a comedy show. What else have we got to talk about? Yes. A year or two ago, the staggeringly shocking news came out into the public domain that Barry Manilow had announced that he's in fact gay, which no one could probably have ever predicted. But some of you will be aware that his biggest hit back in the 70s was a song called Mandy. And it now turns out that fact was in fact supposed to be called Andy. I went on holiday a couple of years ago. Normally, by the way, comedians will say that everything just happened last week. But we can't really say that I went to Florida last week. That's didn't happen, did it? So it was about 9 years ago. I went on holiday to Florida, and I went with my ex-girlfriend, and there was a massive queue for Disney World, huge queue, and I was very tired and jet lagged, and we were waiting in this queue, and there was. I was just kind of looking around all the sites, so it wasn't my fault. I was kind of looking around, I wasn't really watching what I was doing in the queue, and I turned around and I squeezed my ex-girlfriend's bum affectionately, as you do. But then I sort of suddenly looked around and I realised that the queue had slightly moved along a little bit, and I'd in fact squeezed the bum of this 30-stone American woman who was there with her 3 small children, and she suddenly said to me, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" At which point my ex-girlfriend noticed what had happened. She said, "Mike, what the hell are you doing?" And all I could say to try and appease her was, "Look, I'm sorry, I thought it was you." So that's why she's my ex-girlfriend now. I was driving back from a show a couple of years ago, and it was late at night. It was a long journey, and there was another comedian in my car with me. And this journey suddenly got made more interesting because up ahead of us on the motorway, we saw a police car with a defective rear light. Happy days. Now, we probably should have just pointed and laughed and carried along our journey, but we started daring each other to stop and flash and let him know. Eventually, I was driving, I couldn't resist any longer, so I did flash my lights. The police car came to stop in the hard shoulder. Obviously, I did as well. The policeman got out and he walked up to my vehicle, and I unwound the window. It's an old car, and he leant over and he said, "What seems to be the problem, sir?" I said, "Well, I thought you'd like to know you've got a defective rear light." And he kind of looked at me like, "All right, thanks a lot." Now, at this point, I probably should have quit while I was ahead, but I felt like I was on a roll. So I proceeded to ask him for his driving license and insurance. Unfortunately, he then arrested me for impersonating a police officer. So I'm just going to leave you. I've got one little story to finish off this little set with. I did a gig a couple of years ago in Lincoln, and I was comparing the show, and I was having a bit of banter, and there was a couple on the front row, and they were married, and they were both accountants. Exciting start to a story, I'm sure we'll all agree. And I said to the lady accountant, "What's your favourite number?" And she said, "Well, I haven't really got one." I said, "Well, it's a comedy club. Your favourite number should be 69. The husband, quick as a flash, said, "It isn't." Well, I have been Spiky Mike. Hopefully I'll see you in a real comedy club again one day. Cheerio. Enjoy lockdown. Bye.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Specky Mickey. Thank you. Marvellous. Roll call. Ladies and gentlemen, the very first act you saw this evening was...
Robert White.
Goodbye, Katie Hopkins, you left so sudden. Where are you now? Were you eradicated, mistaken for a virus? Or were you just a racist statue that was melted down? Was your mouth considered non-essential and told to stay shut? Or did you find that while Black Lives do actually matter, your Twitter feed does not? And it seems to me she festered so long in the toilet like a turd, hating on so many people, no one was left to like her. So the summer solstice sacrifice has killed a witch. So now who will remember you? Goodbye, Kim, some bitch.
Hey,
Robert White. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. No. Stop clapping. Don't keep clapping all the time and laughing and all that. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what. Do you know what we need now? A laugh.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, see, that's the thing. That never happened at Pear Shaped, not at the real Pear Shaped. You would never have a laugh. Never have a laugh. What would you get, Al? What would you get? What would you get at Pear Shaped? Hang on, I'll tell you a joke and you can tell them what we could get. Hang on. That Oscar Pistorius, I wouldn't like to be in his shoe. Oh no, how many legs does he have? None.
No.
Oh, well, I wouldn't like to be in his shoes either.
No, it's the top bit he's got, but not the bottom bit.
Oh, right, yeah, I wouldn't like to be in his legs. Something like that. That's all you would get. That's the complete response at Pear Shaped was Al giggling away in the corner like he's got problems, you know. So it's okay. Depression is a wonderful thing.
A bit wooden, that joke.
Pardon?
Yeah.
A bit wooden. The joke.
Yeah, that was one of Al's jokes. I mean, you missed out. You missed out on that.
That's from the 19th century.
Yeah.
It was moved on now. Got titanium and graphite and shit now.
Yeah, and that was one of Krysstal's jokes. So, I mean, you can see what we had to put up with, you know. So it was
not joke.
Roll call.
15 fucking years. I had to put up with this. 15 years. Roll call. So we've only introduced the first act. Hang on. And he was followed by Sean Patrick.
Sean Patrick. You've taken his suit off. He's looking all casual now.
Just put him out there on his own. Yeah, put him out there on his own. Go. Look at that. Sean Patrick, and don't worry, you'll be seeing more of Sean, if you remember his other career. So, followed by
Al doing a tune.
Al Mandolino, ladies and gentlemen. Al, play him a bit, Al. Go on. Give him a laugh. If anybody deserves a laugh, it's Al when he plays the mandolin.
Little poser for the copyright police.
Don't say anything. You're not free to speak. You just sit there and you be nice and quiet until I invite you to speak or play the mandolin.
Play the tune. Yeah.
No, don't mumble. Don't mumble under your breath. You cause an atmosphere. And that's the last thing we need on this show is a fucking atmosphere. Give me a laugh. I know I want to laugh.
Right, so carrying on with the roll call.
It's nice to have control of the laughs. That's every comedian's dream, isn't it? So I reckon that who's the bloke who won Britain's Got Talent? You know, because it's got. Hello, I can't speak, but he should have just put the fucking laughs in as well, couldn't he? Hello, I can't speak. That's for some reason laugh.
Yeah, he probably did at some point.
That's in poor taste, isn't it? I shouldn't have done that. That's me being a bit, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so then we had Mr. Miller in
Mr. Miller.
In absentia.
Yeah, give it just to remind us of who he is. Yeah,
Greetings, Pear Shaped. I can't.
No, that was it. Fuck him. If you can't be bothered being here, we're not going to play him twice.
Yeah.
So.
And then Clarissa. Clarissa isn't here in person. Clarissa was next.
I think Clarissa could have been here, or she's probably used the wrong link, and she'll be sitting in the audience going, "I was the best on that show," and there's not enough cannibalism going around at the moment. So that was Clarissa.
That was Clarissa. Yeah.
It is had lots of friends, but was eating most of them. So, animal to cannibal, what a bloody animal is eating everyone has ever known. His father and his mother and his sister and his brother, and he wonders why he's living on his own. What a cunt. Anyway.
We weren't supposed to say that.
No, don't say cunt.
Then we had Mr. Allen.
Mr. Alan Lister, ladies and gentlemen, who was our audience at Pear Shaped for 15 years. 15 fucking years. He sat down the front, listening to Al sniggering and giggling there and trying to play the mandolin. Didn't you, Alan?
I did, and I clearly learnt nothing about comedy.
You didn't, and I know you studied John Sharp's technique, and it doesn't seem to have affected you in any way.
It deserved more.
Yeah, it did. It'll never take off. And anyway, so
thank you.
Yeah, Alan Lister, ladies and gentlemen, at the audience.
And he introduced Michael Ayres, who was in the green room and he's fucked off now.
He's gone.
Didn't stay around.
Just all right.
Oh, hello. Here we are again.
Yeah. No,
That
fuck
was
you.
him, and he seems to have gone
That's
again.
him. He's gone if he couldn't be bothered hanging around to mingle. All right, I'm not going to say it. I have to control myself on here.
Yeah, while we're broadcasting.
No, I was going to say mingle with the Mongols, but you can't say things like this. We'll get closed down. It's bad enough having 1 week. What happened? You're not going to believe this. Do you know what happened? We got a copyright strike for something that Al played.
They recognised it.
They recognised it. I've never recognised anything he's fucking played, but fucking YouTube have. They recognised it. So
shall I do it again now?
Gonna do? Are you going to change it?
Shall I do it again now?
Mute it? I said no. Fucking mute it. So every time when Al does that bit now, they just mute it, and I think that's a good thing. La 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 la. Hurry up, will you? Hurry up. What's next?
I've put him on already.
Who's next?
Our man in La La Land.
Our man, ladies and gentlemen, in La La Land.
Unmute yourself if you want to speak.
Our man in LA who's got things to say.
Except when he mutes himself.
He's muted out. Switch it on, man. Switch it on. Switch it on.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was muted. I was joining in and laughing all the way through it, and I didn't even fucking know that was I muted the whole way through it.
You muted.
Sorry. Do you know, my London accent's got stronger the further away I've left it. I'm actually from Pettswood in Kent. I shouldn't even have an accent this strong. It's ridiculous. It really is. I don't know, honestly, what's happening. Oh.
Have you learnt the language though? That's the thing.
Do you know what? Did you notice that I took your foreign correspondency request seriously? I was actually giving you foreign correspondency of things that was happening. I forsook the laughs. I put in one gag in the middle and propped the fucking thing up. And then it was stuff that was actually real and true. But I was a bit garbled because I was like 2 minutes.
That's what they do. Right. They don't get too many laughs.
No.
So
BBC.
That might not happen every week, just to let you know.
No.
If there's nothing happening, I might actually force gags on you. So be sorry in advance.
I call that cheating. You know, doing jokes, and it's just cheating.
I figured out what you've become, Brian. I know what you are. You're like if Malcolm Hardy was in control of himself, if he never had a coke problem or other issues, that's you're like if he was his best self, that's. And we look up to you. We love this. You're my god.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, he's your dad, not your god.
He is kind of my dad, actually.
Yeah.
In many.
If I was gay, I would have lived next door to Malcolm.
You nearly said licked. So clearly, you went for a hard consonant. Yeah, all right.
We don't do
continuing the roll call, we've got
a
couple of people to bring in yet. So we had
people fucking interrupt just because they live in America. They think,
sorry, I'm stoned. I'm talking.
Interrupt and talk forever.
Yeah. So we had We had 2 mins of Pat and Matt.
Hi, Sean.
Catherine, hello. Welcome, one and all, to another 2 mins of Pat and Matt. Now, Catherine, I understand you've got a tremendous question for us tonight.
Yeah, I've got as a question. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Don't care. I
Fair
mean,
enough.
there's no one there. It's not harming anyone.
No? No?
Trees can't speak. Then
No?
Screw them.
Screw your trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair dues.
I suppose you've got some sort of answer, have you?
I always like to sort of update the modern, the philosophical questions to a more modern kind of understanding of it. So I would say if my neighbour plays rock music loud at night and I am asleep, will I wake up and do their windows in? And the answer is yes. I've done it before and I swear to God I will do it again.
Okay. Same neighbour?
Don't care.
Okay. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbours, trees.
Yeah. I've never actually seen their face, It might be. Oh my God. Oh my God, they might be.
The mystery continues.
Ladies and gentlemen, talking of mysteries. I wonder who the next act was. Who was the next act? Who was it?
Catherine Naylor.
Catherine Naylor, ladies and
This guy.
She's still here. She came, she saw, she conquered, and she hasn't fucked off. She's still here.
I got here eventually, and I think that's what counts.
You struggled to get in.
It really isn't.
Now you're going to struggle to get out.
Sean's trying to be hurtful. He'll never dull my shine.
He loves the struggle.
And then finally...
Yes?
Like Oh, I'm a baby.
Oh, is that your puppet act?
I'm doing ventriloquism now.
Oh, that's the darkest thing I've heard all night.
Wave everyone.
Scary baby.
Yeah, she looks dangerous. That reminds me of that one time when we did a gig. We walked onto the stage, and before we had a chance to say anything, bloke in the front said, "Get your tits out." And I said, "Don't you talk to her like that." He said, "I wasn't talking to her." All right. So, oh, that's the only baby joke I've got. Yeah.
I'm going to take the banner down because nobody's donated anything.
Yeah,
I don't
fuck
think
them.
they're
Yeah,
gonna donate anything.
yeah. Hold yourself an audience. Right?
If you're desperate to donate something, go to the website
Yeah.
or the Facebook page. There's a link there.
Is there anybody left?
There's 5 people left.
5 people left.
Oh wow, there's more of us.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Fancy we outnumber them.
We've been between.
Donate, or this baby's gonna starve.
Ah, go on, Spikey.
Is that a threat? We've got food.
This is our smallest live audience we've had. We've had normally between 10. We actually heard over 20.
But the peculiar thing about it
Thanks
is...
for being here, you lot.
Thank you.
It's fun. It felt like a really nice little fun atmospheric gig. If there's only 5 people, then genuinely fuck the rest of the people that missed it. This was lovely. Thank you all for doing it.
Size isn't important.
I'm sorry, I just swore in front of your baby. I'm so sorry. I just realised. So sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Hang on. We haven't done that. We've got to do our outro.
We've got to do our outro in the
Just say,
Did you say it's in Dystopia?
Yeah, that's right.
Where the hell is Dystopia?
Well,
I wonder, I know where Fitzrovia is.
Yes, we all know that.
There used to be a comedy club there called Pear Shaped. in Fitzrovia.
Yes. Well, if you'd let me get a word in edgeways.
Pear-shaped. It's just a favour to come in, and we hope that you'll be coming back again to Pear-shaped in Dystopia. Every Wednesday night at 8:30. Every Wednesday night at 8:30.
8:30. It sounds better when you record it, doesn't it? Yeah.
So that's the show.
Yeah.
So we're still broadcasting.
Also, I've just remembered that being Spiky Mike's child, that's a festival baby. She's used to being at the further end of the human spectrum.
I've seen 2 of his babies, only 2 of them.
Going to 5 festivals this summer.
2 of his babies.
In a pandemic.
Not often you see a baby with big headphones, big ear doodads on, like builders. I'm not surprised they don't have those yellow helmets on as well.
What's her name, Mike?
Nancy.
This is Nancy. Hello, Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Hello, Cole. Hello, Cole.
And there's Ruby as well.
Hello, Brian. Hello, Vicky. Hello. Hello, Sean.
Yeah. Nancy.
Well.
Who's
Is that her drinking?
you,
Is she
Cole?
getting the bottles out?
It's you having a cup of tea.
Yeah. Sorry, yes, I'm just having myself a nice, relaxing Asahi hidden in a mug, so no one thinks there's something wrong with me.
What time is it there, Cole?
No, I don't normally do this. That's a great question. But you know what? Last week, as you were there, you may remember, that was my first Zoom gig I had last week. Given in mind, I was working with Carnival Cruises, don't shoot me, up until COVID hit, and then this is my first Zoom gig as opposed to like prepared material gig. So I had my first drink during the day last week. I promise you, it's normally night times, and this is an anniversary of last week. It's been 7 whole days, and now I'm back again. So I thought, fuck it, I'm having a lunchtime bit. I'm sworn again. I'm so sorry, Nancy. I flip it. I'm going to have a beer, and here we are.
A mug beer.
A mug beer,
It's
It's an Asahi.
lockdown delicacy.
An Asahi dry.
That's Japanese, isn't it?
It's a good one.
Nice.
Quality.
Good.
Only drinks the good stuff.
Posh, posh.
Can I ask how many people are sticking around to listen to us rate an Asahi out of interest? Oh, fuck off! That's a nice mug.
I think that was to me, actually. I'm drinking on the super malt agenda.
Oh, I think I might need to get this one back to bed in a second.
Non-alcoholic malt drink. The only white person I've ever seen drink.
How are you, Mike? What's been happening? What's going on? Because you're at the thick end of it.
Thank you. This thing happened. That was a main lockdown achievement.
I bet.
So that kind of. Yeah, she's quite happy that she's turned up. Aren't you? Yeah, all you've known is lockdown.
Oh God, that's so bleak.
Lovely. Absolutely gorgeous.
But like,
she's gonna freak out when she meets other people.
she has got so many wonderful titles for her autobiography, though. Like Born in the Pandemic. Oh my God.
Hey.
Damn right, Nance. You damn right.
Generation Lockdown.
That's just going to be the headliner of the show. Obviously. It's going to steal everybody's thunder.
Ruby wanted to stay up and watch the show as well.
Oh.
We told her it's too late. She'll be well annoyed when Nancy tells her that she stayed up.
It's too late for Ruby, and she's bored.
Oh.
And she thinks that's funny.
Ruby's funny because you post about Ruby, and Ruby gives you, like, she holds you to account for things, which I find quite funny, quite regularly. And she also seems to share the British obsession with poo comedy, which I've always been a fan of.
Absolutely, yeah. All her punchlines involve poo.
Why not? Mine still do, to be fair. I've never went past that.
What were you saying about Ruby?
It will sound weird if it's repeated. It's one of those conversations. If you missed it, if we were to say, we talk about Ruby's love of poo, it would sound really terrible in retrospect. You've got to be in the moment.
Everything's documented now. Kids now, their whole history from birth is on Facebook and photos. Hardly anything of our childhood exists. Yeah, like about 3 photos from before you're 5. Apart from you young people like Catherine.
What's the age disparity?
Until college. How do you mean?
Well, I think we better get to bed now. It's been good to see all you guys. Hopefully we'll see you in the right room sometime soon.
Be careful how you fall.
Good
all
to
the
see
best.
you, mate.
Say good night, Nancy.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night, Mike. Sleep tight. And you,
See ya.
We still outnumber them.
Fun. So it's nice to see you two, Catherine and Patrick, as individuals. I love I love the clips. I think they're just so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's why. And one way or another, even though we were both on tonight, I thought, no, I've got to get both fucking clips on. One way, So.
If you watch the more recent ones, I no longer have to carry Catherine, so it's getting even better.
Oh, right.
It's really come into her own as a performer.
I'm going to end the broadcast now. We're down to 2 people watching. Thank you to the 2 people who hung around. I'm ending.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
But
cheers. See you in June.
It's not ended for you.
Not ended for you.
Ended for the public.
For the public who's hung around. Thank you.
Yeah. And at any point, if you think, oh, I've had enough of this, you just say, I've got to go. And we know that you've got somewhere to go and something important to do.